Good morning, dear colleagues. Welcome to Working Group 3. This is the Predicted Ocean Working Group. I'm Sid Thurston from NOAA. And I'm really honored and delighted and privileged, I feel, to be hosting this working co-chairing with Dr. Ben Patterson. As I mentioned in my earlier remarks yesterday, I think a lot of the other working groups derive benefit from a predicted ocean. The better we can predict the ocean, I think it will benefit a lot of the other working groups. So before we begin, I'd like to thank our host last night for a wonderful dinner. So Dr. Hanad, thank you very much. I understand from colleagues that it was just an excellent hospitality, so thank you for that. Can we have a round of applause, please, for our host? Thank you all very much. I'd like to pass it to my esteemed co-chair, my good friend, Undecade, whom I've known for many years, and we've traveled around the world together. So Undecade, can you just say a few brief remarks, please? Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks, Chair. Today we are here for the predicted ocean. We all know the importance of the ocean data collection, observation, the first part of it, followed by the talks about forecast, change is what we want to know. If you look at the region, we have a lot of EZ, the respective country needs to collect these data sets, so there is a need of capacity, there is a need in discuss issues. I'm sure that national sector will be a open up for other working. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Undecade. We have a great panel with us this morning, some of the leading world experts in this topic, and I'd like to ask them to make just a couple comments so we all understand. Could we begin with Pierre, please? Just a couple 30-second introduction.
Thank you. So I work at the University of Portsmouth in the economic department. We have set up recently a research center in Google Balance. The idea is to have people, not only people working in economics, but also people working in geography, in demographic, biology, ecology, working together. So this is really the aim of the center, and because we're trying to develop this approach for many years, in different research programs, and we have been always facing the problem of linking, or making the people working together. It's a very, very big challenge. I think this is what will be the major challenge of the decade as well. So part of this, so I'm working more or less everywhere. And well, you may say, when you work everywhere, you don't work at all. It may be true, but so we have done quite a lot of work in Bangladesh, here in this region, as well in Cambodia. And we also are working quite a lot at the moment in more policy side. So we are coordinating the African Union curriculum strategy that will be approved by the head of states in the next summit in February in Paris. We have recently done also the Indian Oceanic Commission Blue Drinking Strategy and the action plan that was approved in December in Mauritius. And we are also developing some project innovations. At the moment we have a new project funded by the GCRF UK. It's on the blue, we call it Blue Delta project. It's mainly in Bangladesh, but we have opportunities to develop that with India.
Great. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you very much. Is Dr. Baba with us yet? I know he arrived. He was just a couple of minutes. We'll move on. Thank you very much, Dr. Baba. And then also, Roxy, could you just introduce yourself for a few seconds?
And once again, I am Roxy Manifold from Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, IIT in Pune, India. Let the name not deceive you, it's not just for tropical meteorology. We have a very strong ocean group in IITM, working on ocean modeling and related aspects. We also lead the Indian Ocean Region panel activities for the Indian Ocean Region countries. So we are in strong collaboration with the neighboring countries and hopefully try to take it forward. And we also did IPCC special report on ocean cryosphere and changing climate. So not many activities going in and sister partner organizations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roxy. Dear colleagues, I would like to read our task. We need everybody's input this morning. So our task is a predicted ocean whereby society has the capacity to understand current and future ocean conditions, forecast their change and impact on human well-being and livelihoods. So that covers a lot. So I really expect a lot of your comments today, please, this morning for the next hour. Don't be shy. We really need your input. So let me repeat this again. A predicted ocean whereby society has the capacity to understand current and future ocean conditions. So what it is now and future. Forecast their change and impact on human well-being and livelihoods. So it's not only the current and future ocean, but what impacts that will have on the well-being and livelihoods of the population around the Indian Ocean basin. And as I presented earlier, the Indian Ocean has global impacts. So please keep that in mind as you formulate your thinking. Now I know a lot of you are just waking up, we're just starting, so I'm going to make it easier for everybody. You'll see two email addresses in red letters on the screen. So I know some of you, like me, when you wake up, you're a little bit shy, you don't feel like speaking so much. But we really need your input. So if you're feeling shy this morning, just send me and Josh. Is Josh here? Please, yeah. Everybody knows Josh. Thank you. He's our rapporteur this morning, and he'll be helping us out to make sure all your voices are heard and all your voices are documented. So please start sending your comments. You can start right now. The floor is open. To get our brains thinking this morning, I've invited Roxy to make a very short presentation. Roxy, if you could please provide some background, and then also Pierre has kindly offered to provide some background as well. That should help us all thinking about this morning's task. Thank you very much.
Mike, or can you guys hear me? Right? So we'll start without wasting our time. So let's see what I predicted. Indian Ocean can help the rim countries in terms of the socio-economic conditions. For example, the agriculture, farming, water resource management, and over the sea, the fisheries and marine transportation, and in preserving the biodiversity over the Indian Ocean. I am from IITM and also represent the Indian Ocean region panel. So, yeah. So, prime focus, why do we need a predator Indian Ocean? The focus has changed from the earlier years. The focus, there is a lot of emphasis on the vulnerability over the Indian Ocean rim countries. Particularly, you can see in this inflated map based on population, this is one of the largest or the most vulnerable region in the globe, the Indian Ocean rim countries, because you have a lot of low-lying lands over here and small islands in the Indian Ocean rim, heavily populated and vulnerable to a lot of climate variability related extreme events and also climate change related extreme events. One of the examples are the tropical cyclones. As you can see here, for example, the Bay of Bengal sees only 5% of the global cyclones, but 80% of the global casualties are due to these 5% cyclones. This is due to the population and also the increasing vulnerability over this region. And another important factor is the vulnerability to sea level rise. As I said, you have a lot of low-lying lands here and small islands, and the vulnerability to sea level is also increasing, which means that we need a predicted Indian Ocean. How are the extreme events changing over time? A lot of the Indian Ocean rim countries, Africa, Asia, South Asia, East Asia, Australia, depends on the fisheries over the Indian Ocean rim countries. And how are these changing? And this is one of my favorite pictures. Nick was talking about it yesterday. I'm reusing it. Many of us may not know. This is the first calamity or first extinction of the mammalian species due to anthropogenic climate change, which has been reported. And this happened in somewhere in the fringes of Indian Ocean, between Indian Ocean and the Pacific, due to sea level rise over this region, which is around 7 millimeters per year. So these are some of the factors we would like to know. There are many other factors which we want to predict. We would like to have inputs from you. What do we need to have a better predicted Indian Ocean? And how do we go about it? I'm not getting technical about it, but this is quite easy to understand. What all do we need to be predicted in the Indian Ocean? Here are some of the weather and climate phenomena which we could predict. There may be many more which you want. Any inputs are welcome regarding that. For example, this axis shows the time scales, what we want to be predicted at weather time scales, sub-seasonal, seasonal, and decadal time scales, and what is the skill of this forecast. We need cyclone predictions, of course, for the Indian Ocean rim countries. We need extreme weather event predictions, and for all these kind of predictions, including monsoon, we need better observations over the Indian Ocean, and which can help in a better predicted ocean. But there may be other sectors which we have missed here. We might need forecast for the marine heat waves, because they affect the marine biodiversity, the fisheries. So all inputs are welcome. And this is a figure which shows how better observations in the ocean and better modeling for the ocean couple model can help the weather forecast. The blue line shows with persistent SSTs, and the green, red, orange line shows the coupled SSTs in the model. So when you have better observations of the ocean conditions, the improvement or the forecast will increase by 10 days. That's just one example of how we can improve the forecast. So there may be many other ways by which we can improve the forecast or improve the observing conditions over the Indian Ocean, and we welcome inputs from all of you. And another factor which I want to inform is how we have thought about redesigning the observations over the Indian Ocean for a predictable Indian Ocean. So, if you look back at time, like I told earlier, we had moorings over the Indian Ocean from Rama and Omni. Rama from led by the NOAA collaborators, Omni moorings from Indian collaborators, and one of the best way to have a better observed Indian Ocean is to bring these different moorings into the same framework, because we have a lot many gaps. As you can see, we have gaps over the Somali region, the Indian Ocean through flow. We can fill the gaps through better partnerships or through new technologies, and we need partnerships from not only neighboring countries but other nations as well, like the US and Europe, whose weather is connected to the Indian Ocean. So you can just Google Indus 2, the redesigned observing system for the Indian Ocean for the next decade, which might provide clues for a better predicted Indian Ocean. So I am stopping with that. So basically, we need new partnerships among the Indian Ocean rim countries, particularly regarding expansion into boundary current systems, commitments to regional capacity building, best practices, technology and data sharing, new investment from global community, increased investment in governance and scientific leadership through WCRP and other organizations. We need interaction between observing and modeling community. That is something which we are lacking. We have many campaigns on observations, many campaigns on modeling, but there is seldom any interaction with both the communities. And one example on how we can go forward is at IITM we developed an Earth system model which is focused on the monsoon and the Indian Ocean changes, where we try to collaborate with the US NSEP, NOAA, and transform their seasonal prediction model to a long-term climate model for the Indian Ocean region. But we need much more similar campaigns where we can build partnerships and improve a predicted ocean. And all inputs from you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roxy. It was excellent. I'd like to ask Pierre to make a similar brief introduction, and then we'll open up the floor, and as well as the emails, of course. Please send your emails, and we'll have the 2 email addresses back up on the screen after Pierre makes his presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Can you go to the next one? Ah, yes. Okay. I think Sydney already mentioned it, but this is one of the 6 societal outcomes that we have to work on. All right. So I don't want to do that again. So what I will emphasize, is about the society and how we can have the society, on board. Okay. So the key thing with the society, is to have them on board right from the beginning. Okay. This is a very important thing. And most of the time, we make the mistake or we forgot them and we try to put them on board, at a later stage. But they should be on board, right from the beginning. That's a very, very important thing. Okay. The other one, is about defining, society priorities. And we often see, that the priorities of the society is not necessarily the same than the one of the researchers or the one of the large policy makers, organizations. So that's something very important. The work we are doing, the moment, with the African Union or even with the Indian Ocean Commission, is showed clearly that without having the society on board, we can make very bad decisions. Okay, like if we are talking about the deep sea mining or things like this, society should be on board to take decision about their choice. What do they want to do with deep sea mining, for instance? So that's important. So that's important, in order to move forward. That's also, the base for behavior change. When we were talking yesterday about plastics, okay, if the society is not on board, nothing will move. Okay, so if you want to have behavior change, we need to have the society on board right from the beginning. And the other point is that there are maybe the people, at the right stage, or at the right level, to push, or to advocate, for include, the science decisions or the science findings, or to translate that into policy decisions. Okay, so they are really, a strong pillar that we should use, to make our findings, research findings, available for the policymakers. So, but that's not enough. The other thing which is important is to use, good communication tools and good dissemination ways. Okay, that's another thing. If you talk about, for example, I put just 2 pictures. I think these 2 pictures are other pictures, with turtles, having plastic bags on their heads, things like this, have had more impacts, than all the research that have been done over the last 20 years or 30 years on plastics. Okay, so media is a key tool, to use here. And also, like we are talking about National Geographic Expedition or the sailing expedition, are very, very powerful tools, to disseminate and to communicate, okay, the results. That's important. Another thing that we are developing at the moment in a new project with Justin and I think 30 other institutions around the world is developing tools that for kids, for instance. If you want to reach kids, if I ask Justin to talk or me to talk, we will not reach them. Okay, they don't listen to all people. Okay, but if a kid, is talking to other kids, they will listen. Okay, so that's something that we learn, over the years. That's important. And the other one is about having a continuous policy dialogue. Okay, that's very, very important to have. This one is, but to have a continuous dialogue with the policymakers. Okay, because their aim or the way they are thinking, is not the same. Okay, so but if we have the people on board, if we use media, etc., we need to have something to say. Okay, that's the other things. Okay, and the first one is we talk about a lot about the plastic pollutions, the sea level rise, etc., etc. So that's for the society means like a cost or something to change in the behavior. Okay, so we need to be able, to provide, the indicators about what is the cost of current practices, for example, current fishing practices, okay, or current fishing policies. Okay, what is also, the cost of the policy in action? If we don't do anything, what will be the cost? For instance, the EU policy regarding plastic, the ban of plastic, single-use plastic bag, for instance. Economic people have predicted the cost until 2030 is 22 billion. Okay? If we don't do something, it will cost us 10 to 22 billion to clean the environment, to do everything regarding plastic. So based on this figure, the EU has taken the decision to ban the plastics. Okay? So we need to have figures for this. Okay? Another thing which is more and more important that we are looking at from the research perspective is the link between the health of the ecosystem or the ocean health, and the health of the people. And there's a clear link. Okay? And when you show that clearly, you have the society on your side, and they will push the policymakers to take decisions toward the improvement of what I call the blue health, the blue ecosystem health. that's another important thing, is that for many years, people are trying to protect biodiversity from biodiversity itself. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay? Now this year, we are redefining, the new CBD, targets, but it doesn't work for many years. But now we have a new windows opportunity in the way that all the biodiversity, everything linked to the coastal and oceans, can be integrated into the NDCs, the National Determined Contribution of Countries. So we see the link between the preservation of the biodiversity and the way that they can contribute to mitigate and also to adapt to climate change. And so here we have a strong leverage of actions. The other one is about to insert, or to include, all of this into what we have. It's quite fashionable, but it's quite interesting as well. The blue economy policies or strategies that have been developed by Bangladesh. We are working on this quite a lot, African Union, etc., etc. Okay. 1 minute, I finish on this. I just give you an example of Bahamas. I'm working in Bahamas, and until September, there was only on the blue economy strategy. They were only thinking about developing business, okay, tourism business and finance. They were not listening to anything else within the blue economy strategy. Since the hurricane in early September last year, they changed completely their mind. Now they are thinking about, restoring the ecosystem and developing, based on nature-based solution, developing some very strong, protections. So things have changed. But the last point is that this is, I was just saying, a societal outcome. Okay. So more or less it needs to be linked, with all the other UN social initiatives. Okay. And that's it. Yeah. It's a prototype objective. I'm finished.
Thank you so much, Pierre. Could we please bring the email addresses up? Screen with the email addresses. Okay, with that brief background by Roxy and Pierre, I am receiving email messages, so thank you very much. Would like to open up to the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Baba.
Morning. Sorry that I could not reach you yesterday. I could not hear some learner lectures. Okay, we are talking about the predicted ocean and its application in the various areas. We always talk about the interaction between the modeling, the measurement modeling, the implementation communities. But it's all still a dialogue, and we are yet to reach anywhere. So this here, I'm just presenting a small example where we have achieved something with all these dialogues, putting science, some model science, and then stakeholder. So this is one guideline which is prepared by for the Government of India. That is how to apply climate change in for adapting on the coastal protection and management. So that is one direct application of our knowledge in the development of the coastal areas in a climate change scenario. So this is what we have done. So I will just quickly go through it, and I will just focus only on the recommendations. Okay, we all know about all these things, and the bottom picture here. This is a well-known IPCC picture, and in the bottom picture we try to downsize it to our coast, and we found that there is a slight increase in the predicted sea level rise around the whole country, both in the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal coast. So this is this is with the existing models. So this was supported by many organizations. There is a lot of interaction. I'm not reading all those things. Okay, so we know that this climate change has its own impact, and we are trying to model the impacts of the climate change on various systems. And here we are trying to apply it in the field of coastal management. And the guideline was prepared for the development and fostering of sustainable methods to protect the coast in India, which can be adapted to climate change impacts. So this was the thing, and so some of the major features of these guidelines, which are prepared and it is available to the government of India for implementation, this environmental impact assessment is an important factor. Then conservation of the existing ecosystems like the beaches and the sand dunes is very important. Then we have introduced this crust height that I will explain to you a little bit, and bring science into coastal protection. At present it is only an engineering field, so there is a need to bring science. So how this can be done, it was demonstrated. And consider modern and globally accepted cost benefit and a life cycle cost. So this is a very important factor to be considered, because at present it is it's all done in a very empirical way. So that is what is happening. And so we have in these guidelines, with the available scientific knowledge, we have introduced a minimum beach level and a minimum flow level, which is to be accommodated in the coastal protection scenario. This is at present, and this is all empirical and arbitrary. So I'm not going into the details. So this is a schematic of the same thing, and what are the different types of things to be accounted for, like the highest recorded tide, storm surge, wave setup. It is not just the waves, but also the wave setup and wave runoff and seasonal sea level variation and flood level sea level, then the sea level rise. All this needs to be integrated to achieve the goal of protecting the coast. And for this, we have generated a lot of data and applied a lot of models. For example, the storm surge, the elevation all around the country was developed by in a climate change scenario, for different return periods have been developed by the IIT Delhi. Then NIO Goa has done the projections for waves in a climate change scenario, and similarly future sea levels for around the country was developed by Claim Systems in New Zealand, and similarly climate projections. That is, what is the type of temperature, rainfall, humidity, and this kind of things have been projected with the available models and downscaled for our coast at 50 kilometer interval around the coast by Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. So this is what is done, and it is the most important thing is all the data which has been generated under this program is available in the public domain. So, for example, in the Central Water Division's India Varis website, the whole data is available for the public to utilize. So, entire thing is available. This is the basic page of that. And based on this, we said that there is a lot of monitoring required, because the coastal protection and management in our country is done with very limited data, and there is a lot of parameters required, and we have recommended the specifications and the periodicity of the various parameters to be looked into. And similarly, we recommended that there are more studies required. For example, in the sea level rise scenario, we have to account for the vertical land movement. There is very little data in the vertical land movement in the country, except for some limited locations of Calcutta, Mumbai. It is not available. It is not available elsewhere. So that is a very important thing which has to be looked into when we are thinking of application of all these things for the management of the coastal areas. Then monitoring of the beaches and dunes. At present, more beaches and dunes, though we have a lot of atlases even developed by NIOT on the shoreline changes, but a continuous monitoring of the basic ecosystems on the coast, like the beaches and dunes, is missing, and we don't have an account of a clear account of the dunes and their functions on along the coast, because that is one of the primary areas, primary components which protect the coast. Then monitoring of the sand resources. For example, we say that in our guidelines that the coast is made up of sand and this loose material. So we must go back to that in protecting our coast. So we should have sufficient beaches and dunes all along the coast. And for that, sand resources are required. There is a need to look into more sand resources made deep in the ocean, wherever it is available. Similarly, wave data. Wave data, of course, a lot of wave data is being monitored by various organizations, including NIOT in the country. But fortunately, we have excellent wave models. Yeah, just time completing. Yeah, this is the last one. We have a lot of very good global wave models, and they have to be they are more or less give very good accuracy, and that can be used for our situations. Then upgradation of private projections with the better models, because whatever models available have been utilized for the for predicting or giving the predictions in the country. But we know that the models are getting improved, so that they have to be used. Similarly, for major projects, we require longer return periods of regular projects, like major projects like nuclear stations and lot. We require a longer return period. That is also one area where we need to study. So these are my conclusions. I am not reading.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that excellent background, I'd like to please bring up the email addresses. I am receiving many emails, so thank you all. Could we please bring up the email address screen? Thank you. And the floor is open. I really want to hear your voices. We want to know what your nations need, what are your national needs as stakeholders in this Indian Ocean, predicted ocean. As stakeholders, what are your needs? What are your agency needs? What are your national needs? What are your requirements? What recommendations do you have to improve a predicted ocean for this basin? So the floor is yours. Please, who wants to go first? Please, Tunisia, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. I just would like to focus on two keywords: society and understanding. So I think that in this predicted ocean, we have a very important role to play in order to make ocean science understandable by everyone. So educators, NGOs, media could play a very important role, and educators also should play a role of advertising, simplifying very scientific aspects and also research results in a very simple way. We did this experience in Tunisia for conferences, for everyone, explaining very complicated research things. So I think that about oceans, if an organism, I don't know, at the Indian Ocean level, could be in charge of such kind of initiatives, of course it's rich ocean literacy, but the IT tools or the tools we have are very, very important and huge to make ocean understandable. And people, they will understand and they will be connected with ocean, and everyone will play a role from each place. So I think in fragmented way, it's possible to just put some points and then pick up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you so much. Just a kind reminder, a gentle reminder. That was excellent, Tunisia. Thank you very much. In plenary, please take about a minute to summarize your recommendation, and also please send more details via email to these two email addresses here. Thank you all very much. Who else would like to speak, please? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair, for moderating. I'd like to thank all the leaders for their excellent presentation. Just I want to add one thing here. We want to roll out local communities. Local communities could be considered as very important stakeholders, not just to make them understand what will be happening in the future. But the important issue is that how is their experience of adapting to the new climate? Because in many societies, in many communities, there are very basic practices for adaptation to climate change. We can understand their practices and scale up those practices to others. It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, teach.
Yeah, let me thank our colleague and for but on this topic, when we are discussing on predicted oceans, I like to concentrate on prediction, how we can predict the oceans, and at what time scales, and what are the predictions which are. If I look from that point of view, in fact, entire natural science or the science of nature is to predict weather. So oceans are not an exception from that. Whole human history is to understand how the nature works and to predict how the nature will work tomorrow so that we can better prepare for that. I must congratulate Roxy from the that in India, we have a predictive system. We are using the predictions for various possibilities. So if I look at that point of view, I think we have to segregate in short-term predictions as well as long-term predictions. Short-term predictions are of much required for the societal requirements as far as people for example, the fishermen who go out at the sea would like to know how it is going to be when I go out at the sea. So fishermen need this kind of, and they need for a short time because their fishing is planned for a few days, maybe for a week. So they need that kind of precision. For navigators, for example, so when he sails from one port to another, we would like to get a prediction of the sea stage indicated by various currents and winds, whatever it is. Similarly, other operations like oil and natural gas companies or anybody conducting any activity in the sea, they need those kind of predictions. Then comes to the long-term predictions, which are more required for the policy makers. For example, the government of India will take prediction on how the monsoon is going to behave during the next year. If they know, if we can predict accurately, the entire issue is solved. So, for that, we have to understand the long-term data. And there is a very long-term prediction also is required. That is the changes due to the climate changes. Like government want to know how the sea level is going to rise and what rate and they are approaching. These predictions are much more difficult, but they are also required. So I will categorize the requirement of predictions itself by predicted ocean in three categories. First and foremost is short term, where most of the society or the activities are demanding, and the second is for more for a policy decision, and third also is for a policy decision and long-term planning. So we have to address these issues and what are the gaps in achieving this. Now, if I look at there's a group called Ocean Prediction, where the moderates meet regularly. In the Indian Ocean, I think if I am not wrong, there are few countries which has that capabilities of the short-term prediction. India has that capability. Australia has that capability. Even recently, I am learning that Saudi Arabia is having that kind of capability. They are providing predictions for the oil and natural gas companies. Maybe others also, I don't know about them, other capabilities. But are there any gaps in those aspects? From our Indian experience, what I am finding is that though these predictions are okay or usable or more or less okay, there are issues still. How we can address them? So, first and foremost is lack of data. We don't have very good data from the ocean to address some of these issues. Because no models can predict very accurately unless you also have the data accumulation capabilities. That now many of the groups or many of the countries are developed that capability, but data is similarly to make long-term prediction also, data is one of the major issues. The data, lack of data from all of the, when you want to take a long-term or environmental prediction, or at least long-term prediction, you need the data from a larger region. As proxy was showing, we absolutely don't have any data from the western part of the Indian region. So these are large gaps where I think we have to bring in. Then second aspect is we have to clearly understand some of the physics of these models. We still lack that understanding, and our efforts should go in that direction also, that understanding some of the processes which we have parameterized in the models, but they are not very accurate. So unless we address these issues, I think we will not be able to go forward on the topic of ocean prediction. That's what I feel.
Thank you very much, Satish, for scoping, for us to move forward. I see a lot of hands up now. Sir.
Thank you very much. I am following Dr. What Dr. Sarai is mentioning. And in the OPC area, particularly Kuwait, we have done extreme long prediction. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Our group have done extreme wind for whole Kuwait, 50 locations. Also extreme waves for the whole Arabian Gulf. So this is available in terms of books and documents. 4 or 5 years of work. And the feedback what they are getting from industries, they are saving a lot of money in their building, highway building. Because they know 1950 days under wind speed attack. So I want to say the capability is available in any country. When we do literature review, I know more than 50% of the country around the Indian Ocean, they don't have extreme winds and waves for their region. It's not available. we like to say that capability is unavailable, we'll be ready to help for that's what we want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please. Basil.
Because I have some time. Sorry. Just to follow up for what have been said, I think what I tried to say here that predictions require data. As Dr. Chennai mentioned, that we have short-term and long-term predictions. So data is very important for predictions. Now, yesterday, he was mentioning about the equipment and instrumentation, and that's how that's can be costly. So what I was suggesting here, that in the RBC India, what we can do, we can have a data hub or a data portal being managed probably by India or any other country here. Then what we can say that everyone who wants to use an instrumentation for another project can ask in this data hub, make a request that I need, like for example, CTD or ADCP. Other countries, they have used that instruments and they can say, okay, I have it, I'm not going to use it for 1 year or something, but I can lease it for this other country. So they can have it and they can use it for a minimum cost and they can collect data. And after they use that data, they can put it on this data hub or portal. And so everyone has an access. Now, in Saudi, we have big machines called Shaheen, which is a supercomputer. We have made very extensive predictions for waves, atmospheric circulations in the Red Sea and Arabian Persian Gulf, and for the whole regions. And as well, now we have implemented about the dust, atlas for dust in the region. So we can collaborate with the other countries in the Indian region to help them in terms of sharing data with them or helping them if they want to use our facilities. So I think this is an important point, just to have like accessible and predictions for yesterday, what we have mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yasser. Thank you very much, Yasser. Anyone else? I'd like to go to Karen, because she had her hand up. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. So I have a couple of points to make. So most of the discussion so far has been around predicting physical aspects of the ocean, and has largely ignored the fact that the ocean is much larger than just the physics. And if we are to have a sustainable future, we need to be thinking of the ocean as a whole, from the physics right through to the people that use the ocean. So that's just one point. Thinking about the fishing example, it's no use if the fishers are going out if they don't know where the fish are. So you might have the best marine forecasting in the world, but if you don't have a holistic picture of what a future ocean looks like, then they have nowhere to go because they don't know where the fish are. That's one aspect. The other thing to think about is that we can have the best models in the world and the fastest supercomputers in the world, but that technology is not accessible to everyone. So not every country can run those models, and not every country can then take the outputs from those models and interpret them. So we need to think about how we take those predictions and how we provide those to those countries that actually need the information to make that information equitable across the world, and also to tailor it to those regions of the world. At the moment, a lot of our Predictive models are at large scales. They're not at the kind of scales that people need them to actually implement the kind of information that they need out of them. We know in Australia that our fishers definitely, they want information that is at much finer scales than what we can produce at the moment. And they're looking at wanting to see dynamic ocean models that they can access from their vessels on their mobile phone app, which makes decision making for those fishers much readily easable, and they can make decisions on the turn of a pin. So there's some things to think about, not only about how do we actually predict the ocean, but how do we deliver that information in usable, readily usable forms to our end users. I'm going to stop there.
Thank you so much, Karen. I echo your aspirations from the chair. As chair, I really want to provide capacity to empower all members, and that includes getting the stakeholder requirement input, and then doing our best to satisfy that and get information to all stakeholders. So I really resonate with your comments, so thank you very much. That's very important. It has to be for everybody. Yes, I'd like to go to this gentleman over here, Commander. Commander, please.
Thank you, Sidney. Just two short comments from presentations, one by Roxy. Roxy, once you mentioned that you have a fair prediction of, or the estimate of the number of observing systems which you require in your presentation you have made to have a fair assessment of it. Do you have also a prediction of how much funds you require for that? Is there a requirement of funds, and how do we get those funds to make these predictions? That is one short point. Second point from the presentation made by Gary is regarding the behavioral change. And since we are talking about the observation systems, we face a problem of vandalism in most of the observation systems by knowingly or unknowingly by the fishermen. So can we look at some kind of a behavioral change with the fishermen community and the others to make sure that these observation systems are good for them? Maybe look at and work on those directions.
Thank you, Commander. I'd like to go to Nick quickly, then Justin, and then we'll go around the perimeter. Thank you very much. Please, Nick.
Sid, thank you very much. I'm reflecting on the discussions, and everything that I've listened to this morning is profoundly relevant. But I have to say, and this is not a criticism, is probably been hearing this for 10 years now. So, you know, the continuum of requirements that Satish articulated so nicely, where you go, we need predictive models, but we need them to look at 2, 3, 4 different scales of different, needs, operational, strategic, and short-term. But to have proper models, you need those models to be able to characterize the right processes, to be able to characterize the right phenomena. You need the right data and information. To have the right data and information going backwards, you need an appropriate observing system. Karen pointed out, and Sid, supported Karen's intervention that, sure, there are some countries that are very well equipped in being able to undertake that whole continuum from observations all the way through to prediction and application of the predictive models. But some countries do not. Some are about halfway along that curve. Some sit a quarter of the way. Saudi Arabia, India, Australia, and those other countries pretty well equipped to weigh along through that whole continuum. But other countries probably need, training in the actual observation right up front. So this is a meeting about a really bold, ambitious 10-year concept, which which is the Undecade. And what that means, what that provides us as with an opportunity to think really big. And the commander, I think, hit on a really important nail, a really important point, which is we all know that these things need to be addressed. How do we do it? How can we achieve it in the next 10 years in a way that has not been possible so far? So how do we ensure that we understand the respective needs, underpinned by gaps in capacities of each and every one of our Indian Ocean friends, Indian Ocean countries? How do we work that out? And then once we work out what the respective needs are, how do we then action solutions to improve the capacities of each and every one of those countries? That requires money. It requires resources. Because what we know we know what's needed in terms of doing this, but we need money and we need it in kind. Now there are many constituents sitting in this room and also outside of this room who are very well prepared to provide support. ITC Oceans, Category 2 centres, training centres, institutional opportunities through the countries that have good capacities and have the spirit and the will to support other countries. So we need a mechanism enabled by the decade that liberates money and liberates the in-kind support and provides integration to enable those with the goodwill to support others that don't have the capacity with the goodwill to enable them to do that. So I've submitted a couple of 2 or 3 project ideas to Sydney and Dr. Dash that articulates how we might formulate a couple of recommendations. One is, I think, in general sense, is let's put up and get some serious cash and in-kind support to undertake a really sophisticated needs assessment and gap analysis for each and every country in the Indian Ocean over the decade. And secondly, there are some Sid pointed this out. Sorry if I'm going on too long, Sid. Yeah, Sid pointed out yesterday that maybe the Indian Ocean can be a poster child of the decade because we are so well equipped already with existing mechanisms. We have an IOBUS, we have an IOCDO. So IOBUS is a community alliance. IOCDO has intergovernmental imprimatur because it's constituted under the IOC's intergovernmental framework. We have an IOC Africa, we have an IOC Westpac. These are the institutional frameworks. But we have programs now that have been going for 15, 20 years, which really speak to most of the objectives in the decade. We have the Roxy leads a panel, the Indian Ocean Region panel of physical and climate scientists that has just reviewed the Indian Ocean observing system and provided a framework for it to improve itself over the next 10 years. It's an amazing observing system. It's multidisciplinary. It covers biology, it covers physics, it covers meteorology. It takes advantage of all the various ways that the ocean can be monitored. But it needs resources to go from its 60% readiness to 100%, let's say, over the next 10 years. And these guys have redesigned the Indian Ocean observing system with societal relevancy in mind. That Indian Ocean observing system has connected to it support mechanisms and collegiate alliances like the Second International Indian Ocean Expedition, which has a sophisticated science plan that Satish Shenoy led the development of in conjunction with us and an implementation plan. There's a Biogeochemistry Alliance, there's an Indian Ocean Observing System Resources Forum, etc., etc. So I think we should use these existing mechanisms and work them into recommendations over the decade, and then take advantage of the intellectual insight and experience that people like the commander, and we were talking about this last night, as to where we might go to get some serious money, philanthropists, governments, etc., climate funds, European Union. That's my submission.
Thank you very much, Nick. And yeah, we have an amazing system in place. We have room for growth, but I really resonate with Cameron's point. It has to be for everybody. You know, everybody needs to benefit from this investment and future investments. Otherwise, we will not be the shining star of the UN decade. I think one of the metrics necessary to be the shining star of this basin for the UN decade is, you know, a third of humanity is around this basin. A third of the world population resides in this area. And if we don't take this amazing infrastructure and make it beneficial to everybody in the region, you know, I'm not going to claim success. I just think that'll be short. So, Karen, could I ask you to be very brief before I move to Justin? Thank you.
I will be very brief. Just to follow on from Nick, I think we need to also recognise that many countries have national systems of data collection. Australia is one of those. We need to think about how do we integrate those national systems with the larger systems such as IOUs.
Very good. We've captured that. Thank you, Karen. I'd like to go to Justin, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the floor. I would like to just to start with complimenting what Karen said regarding the data management and data use. So I would like to say that if the first activity of IUC was to coordinate the first Indian Ocean expedition, the most ancient, you know, I would say the identity of IUC is IUD, International Ocean Data Exchange Program. That is the oldest IUC program. And there has been a resolution where we had a meeting last year in Hyderabad to reactivate the IoT component for the Indian Ocean. So, to be very brief, to save the time, I believe that what I hear from the discussion since the previous workshop and yesterday and today about data is, again, the recommendation to really implement the IoT component, which is called Undecade program, which is based at ECOS. The coordinator is very capable. We just need to find the mechanism to reactivate the program. So maybe that together with ECOS, we should have a small working group of experts to see how to reactivate, because the system is there, the capabilities are there, it just matters of reactivating the system. And at the global level, when IoT has been established, there were two global data centers, one in Washington, one in Moscow. Now we do have IoT project office, which is based in Ostend, in Belgium. So there are structure, there are facilities. They are not brilliant, but there are seed money to reactivate the project. I will send you full line as a recommendation, as a straightforward recommendation for that. The second one is about, again, how the tradition meets societal need. Again, it is a kind of irony because when we're talking about societal need, it is always the scientist or the project manager who talk about societal need. And Pierre have widely presented at the beginning the need to involve stakeholders from the beginning. And from Karen as well, from Satish, how the fishermen, when they go and sing in the morning, you know, should be sure, should be happy that, oh, I will give up at 8 o'clock to have dinner with my family. Will they stop? Will I be jumped in the storm? As I stop? Or at the highway? Which means the way we present it should be a predictive question for what? There should be question mark all the time. Why are we doing this? we should have a table, or we should have a kind of a look frame where we match the scientific effort on the prediction we need together with the societal need or with the particular stakeholder need, the very specific study. And again, of course, the physical part of the prediction or physical oceanography is almost well known today. The most complicated, the most challenging area is ecosystem modeling. It is biological modeling. And today, with acidification of that, how we integrate, or how do we put together chemical processes to the biological also. The lack of model there is the holistic approach. You focus on biological ecosystem modeling.
Thank you very much, Justin. Please, briefly, we've got to wrap this up. I'm sorry. Thank you.
We have keywords for Yeah, we have keywords for tropical Pacific Ocean observing system. We have Atlantis. So I've also discussed with Manfred. And Roxy has already made IR. In this forum, we get the input from the country countries or Indian Ocean. Also, we can prepare observing system model like Atlantis and keywords. That would give an idea which can go as a recommendation. Roxy says it's already there in the climate system. If we can get input from the member states here, and that can be developed as an outbound requirement, which Karen is also talking about, Nichols is talking, how in future what you want, that can be brought in. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do a really quick 10 seconds each. Srinivas, you're next.
Thanks, Sid. So, my 10 seconds starts now. So, thank you for the very rich discussions, actually. Only one point I would like to make is actually there's a lot of, hand in hand with what we are doing on the, improving our capabilities in forecasting, prediction, observations. I think there's also a strong need to work with the, making our forecasts not just scientific, simplifying them, making them impact-based, based on the user needs, specific user needs. Unless we tell them, we can tell them that the wave height is going to be so much, but what is that going to do to them, to the fishermen? I think there is work needed with the communities, user communities, with the social scientists, to make our impact, our forecast impact is being done increasingly in the weather space, not that much in social science. Thank you.
Srinivas, thank you. I heard a very interesting comment recently. It's not just what the weather's going to be, but what the weather's going to do. And that just resonated with me. I think that's what we need to think about the ocean. We've got about 15 seconds, so I'd like to go to Pierre and then the gentleman in the back. He's been very patient. Pierre, please, quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. I think from the beginning, I'm not sure that that would give us a picture. I'm not sure that the working group, as they are, have the right way, to deal with this. The way that people are talking here about prediction, we are talking about society, and so and we can have the same things for all of these working groups because these are societal outcomes. I'm not sure that they fit with the way we should develop, the working group within the unions.
Thank you, Pierre. Yes, sir, in the back, really quickly.
Just I have two comments. One is that for Indian Ocean region, we are really lagging behind in terms of data collection or data modeling is concerned, is biodiversity. That's exactly where the food sustainability and all these issues come up. And another thing is just an appeal from a regional perspective that northern Indian Ocean, northern eastern Indian Ocean is one of the most vulnerable part in terms of community and the fishermen, because this is one of the most hazardous part. we don't have any integrated or in situ system there. It is can be forwarded from the community.
Thank you very much. The final word is yours, please, sir.
Yeah, I would like to just draw the attention of this group to the activities of the Broad-Eye Ocean View Science Team, which is now known as the Ocean Study Science Team, which deals with several of these issues, which is being discussed here, particularly that issues raised by Karen, Chennai, and everybody. So the forum gives an opportunity for a lot of communities to meet, like stakeholders, ocean forecasting systems worldwide, ocean modelers, data aggregators, and so on. So recently it's been realized the need for several cost-cutting projects, such as integrating ocean observation communities, marine ecosystem, and fishing forecasts. So several of these activities are being initiated under Ocean Predict Sciences. Now, as far as this group is concerned, there is a need to identify the real issues that are relevant to the region, really focus on detailed issues, and those issues are related to scientific questions, the societal needs, the need to transform the information that is already available in a form that can be accessed by communities and so on. So one recommendation would be that you have a regional group or a forum where all these issues can be brought out, documented and discussed, and then chatted out ways so that those issues can be discussed, so that we can have a truly predictable ocean for this region that we are looking at.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Bangladesh, please.
Yeah. Most of the things already I think I covered. So I would like to have two couple of issues. So I think for to enhance the observation, we can actually think to people some low cost instrumentation. I know that Google partnership of Ocean Observation, they come up with some low cost sensors, so we can think about this. And for the impact-based approach, so I think we have some gaps in the impact modeling in our region. So maybe we should have some information to enhance the impact modeling. And another issue I actually like to raise how we actually communicate the uncertainty to the policymakers. It will have to be
Thank you very much. I would like to call a close to this working group. And I'd like to remind everybody that you can always send your emails if your voice was not heard. We need to hear your voice, so please send it by email. And the other good news is we will be having this working group, as all breakout groups, from 2 to 5:30 this afternoon. We will be breaking up into 6 groups. So if your voice was not heard and you're very passionate about a predicted ocean, please come to working group 3 for at least a few minutes between 2 and 5:30 this afternoon, and you can have your voice heard. I'd like to thank everybody for your passion and your constructive comments, and we look forward to receiving your additional comments as well. And I'd like to thank Dr. Abinand for his patience as we extended beyond our allocated timeline. Thank you all very much. Let's hear a round of applause.
Thank Dr. Seeth and Dr. Tyson and all the panel speakers for the excellent presentations. And I'm sure that Raj will have the notes and give the presentation Dr. Sampath, Dr. Neelamani, and Dr. Yasser. The team will prepare the final document for discussion tomorrow. Thank you very much. And next panel is on Indian distribution. On Indian ocean. My request would be that